Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. It's been a few days, but let's make some content. And right now on Global, let's be real, it's a bit dead. It just is, it's a bit dead. This is what happens like every single year, so I'm fine with it. But every year, about a month or two out of the anniversary, it's a little bit dead. There's not a whole lot going on, which is to be expected, you know, especially this year with the global sync coming. We're essentially just waiting for the anniversary to happen. We're waiting for both versions to finally be synced up. I'm definitely glad I popped that Whis. I know we can regen a lot of that health back with a lot of units on the team. But considering this first phase is about pretty much survival, glad I popped the Whis. That's one thing I remembered. Kid Buu was doing some pretty gnarly damage with normals against Fat Buu, even with guard, so I'm glad I popped the Whis, which also covers us for next turn, which we're pretty much here for 3 turns, so we're good. But yeah, every time we're near the anniversary on Global, whether that is years past or this year, where the sync is coming up, it's always pretty much a down period. There's always not a lot going on. We're getting one of those Dokkan Fest that have been brought forward or been brought in to essentially just kill time. You know, this year was pretty much to get us caught up. But it's always around this time where there's not a whole lot going on, which I'm completely okay with, but it just means there's not much to make videos on. But considering this is the final stage that came out for Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, there was no support memory, so I would have thought there was going to be another stage, even though Kid Buu makes sense to be the final stage, and there's only 4 stages. I kind of waited before I started doing, like, you know, testing out units against the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, just in case there was another stage. And there wasn't. So this is pretty much probably what the content's primarily gonna be. I probably should have put Golden Freezer in slot 3. From what I remember, the first time I beat this and was trying to do the missions and beat this in general, Kid Buu on this phase loves to super attack in slot 3. Just loves to super attack in slot 3. And one of these two would have been much better suited for being in slot 3 with a type advantage and the Whis and guard, etc., or freeze with damage reduction. I just thought Kid Buu needs to be floating. I want that support at all times. Yeah, probably should have moved them. Hopefully the Whis does enough though, but I don't know if it will. But this is what we're going to be doing, probably for the most part, unless any news kind of comes up, any things we need to cover. It's pretty much just trying out units against Red Zone Kid Buu, considering he's up there right now as one of the most difficult enemies on Global. Probably not JP, I mean he might be up there a little bit, but more so Global. Are we good? Are we? Okay, yeah, we're good. I think without the Whis, that would have been terrible. But as you've already seen by the title, the first unit we're actually testing here is indeed DOKKANFEST Fat Buu. I kind of wanted to test all of the units on this team as like the marquee unit to be like, this is who the video's about. Like, because I love this team. This Buu team, aside from Golden Freezer, but this Buu team, I love this team so much. And I love all the units and EZAs on this team. I want to do all of them. But it was pretty much whoever came up on the first rotation, and there was both Fat Buus. So I was like, why not just do Fat Buu? He does lead the team after all, but Tech Exchange Buu, Buu Tanks or Buuhan, LR Super Buu, Super EZA Fizz Kid Buu. I'm going to do videos on all of these here just because they are all that good. And I love using this team so much. It's pretty much one of my favorite teams right now in the game. We're on 264k defense with our guaranteed guard right now. Of course, if one of the Fat Buus dies, doesn't matter which one, if one of them dies and we get the revival, of course we do get the guaranteed guard and the guaranteed additional super. That's something I definitely want to happen. But one thing I didn't realize the first time I was doing this, or even just in any of my attempts, this is pretty much Red Zone Cooler Core V2. And I don't know how I never clocked that. It is pretty much a very similar format but updated. Look at that already. Normals are doing double digits. Oh, we can pull out the 5 dodge. Suck my dick. Who do you think you are? But yeah, I didn't even notice. It was pretty much Cooler Core V2. You're stuck in the first phase for 3 turns, just like Cooler Army. and all you have to do is survive. And within that time, you want to build up as many units as much as possible, whether that's through their passive, whether that's through stacking, which of course Fat Boo does have, through his stacking on defense, so you want him to super attack as much as possible. But pretty much those 3 turns, all you have to worry about doing is surviving, and within those 3 turns, you want units to build up as much as possible, because the second phase is where shit gets real. Actually, this works out well for us. I'm going to leave him in slot 1 because there's so many attacks, and hopefully the friend Fat Boo dies so we can get the guaranteed additional and guaranteed guard on both of them. Like that. Surely. The friend one's rainbowed, but surely he dies. Surely he still gets 1 shot, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. You played into my hand. Dickhead. But yeah, it's pretty much a carbon copy. And then as I said, the second phase is where shit gets real. There's a ton of damage. There's not a ton of damage in the first phase, but there's a lot more here. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's quite a bit. And even though you've had time to build up units where it's marginally a little bit easier, but easier than the second phase, you know, it's still quite a challenge. And, you know, as I said, you want units built up as much as possible. So it's basically Call of Core V2, and I never even realized this, but with the fizz, the super fizz EZA Kid Boo support. Look at Fat Boo's defense, 610k. He hasn't even stacked that much. 610k with guaranteed guard, by the way. Let's not forget about that. And also, Evil Boo, EZA Tech Exchange Boo, support with 50% chance to dodge and 70% chance, not chance, 70% damage reduction. This is why I wanted to do videos on all of these units against Kid Boo, because they're all so good. The one thing mine is going to lack on, I mean, to be fair, with the support, he's actually doing some solid damage without any crits or anything. But with mine being 55%, that's something he's going to lack a little bit here, is damage. Although combined, 8, 9, and 10 million attack stats with Fizz Kid Boo's support, it's pretty solid damage. But of course, I can't crit, because all of my skill orbs are additionals. Now, if I had a dupe in him, which I really do wish I managed to pull a dupe in him, but would save as many stones for the anniversary, of course, we could have had a crit in there. We could have had some extra additional in there, but more importantly, we could have had a crit in there. But he's doing well. But one thing Call of Core didn't do, which Kid Boo does, which the first time I saw this generally threw me, because how devious is it to do this, is every time he's hit, he raises his attack, which is absolute criminal. By the way, if you're going to super attack me this turn, you're not going to do that. You're also not going to heal. So guess what? You look like an idiot.
We'll turn you into a candy.
Suck my dick. You're not doing none of that. We're going to transform you, which is good. And that's another thing, of course, my Fat Boo has, which hasn't been used yet, is his active skill, which actually works really well here, by the way. And it works for quite a few reasons. Which is, number one, you can stop him healing, which is good. Like, it's jarring when red zone bosses heal themselves. It just makes the fight longer. The longer you're in a fight, the more chance that you could possibly die. It's as simple as that. No matter how good the team is, unless it's completely indestructible, which sometimes this team feels like that, but it can happen. Second, and also this is not just Boo's active skill alone, but just having 2 makes that even better, because you can stop him healing twice. Of course, you can completely disable all of his actions, which means if he was going to super attack this turn, he now won't, which is another good thing. But also, it stops him raising his attack and it meaning anything in that turn. And what I mean by that is, and again, you could do this twice, which is good, is, say for example, we got through the entire rotation, right? He's been hit X amount of times. A lot of these units have additionals, whether they're from the dupe system, built-in skill orbs, no matter what. His attack's getting raised every time this piece of Hubba Bubba is hit, right? Now imagine in slot 3 he decides to super attack me. That means his attack has been buffed that many times, and he's then going to clap me with a super attack. It means we're going to take a ton of damage, because not only does he do a ton of damage on super attack anyway, it means he's going to do even more damage because of all the times he's been hit in that rotation. So to have Fat Boo twice, because of course we're running dual leads, I mean, but even just him doing it in general, but having the ability to be able to do it twice, to just be like, yeah, by the way, disable all your actions, you're not doing nothing, you're not attacking, you're not healing, you're not doing niche, is actually a lot more useful than, I mean, it's already useful as it is, but it's even more useful. Because not only, as I said, do you get rid of that super attack full stop, so it kind of doesn't matter that he's being hit, But then I said you're stopping the healing, which can keep you in the fight longer. It's jarring. And it just means him raising his attack every time he's hit. Which, I mean, a lot of units do have built-in additionals nowadays. Like, a ton of them do. Especially stackers. Even on this team alone. It means all that attack buff he's getting from all of these times he's getting hit. Because, also, you want all of your units to attack Kid Buu as much as possible. So you can do as much damage as possible. That's the way it's always been in Red Zone. You want units to crit. You want them to additional as much as possible. You want to do as much damage as possible. So you can get in and get out. And the fact that Fat Buu can just be like, bang, gone, nullify. It means he's raising his attack for no reason. Because you don't get to do nada. Absolute niche. And this is why I love this team. I mean, Fat Buu is... I said this when he released, and I said this when I was trying him out, and it's just more so here. He has so much use. Not only is his team amazing because of all the units he links so well with, and I said, by the way, I love this team. The only thing mine lacks is damage. But then again, if, you know, with all those combined additionals he does, it's actually solid damage. But, you know, if there was a crit or two in there, it'd be even better. But I didn't manage to pull a dupe. And if I mean, if I change one of the skill orbs, I could get some crit on there. But I'd much rather the additionals to stack up his defense. But then there's potentially a bit of damage. Defense because of the stacking. The guard. If you get the revival, we get anyone's revival as long as Buu's there. You'll then have a guaranteed additional, which means quicker stacking. He's then, of course, got the guaranteed guard. Don't actually have the team here. I literally just used the old one. Oh, no, it's right there. Then you have the guard. Then you have guaranteed guard, which always is one of the best things to have in the game. Then you have his revival itself, that full heal in an event where you're limited with items, especially when you're getting hit with these kind of super attacks, where Kid Buu's doing so much damage. And then not only that as well, there's also his active skill, which if you run 2 of them, you can use twice, which not only means, as I said, no attacks, no super attacks. It means Kid Buu constantly buffing his attack means nothing. It also means Kid Buu can't heal, which is another good thing. So you're stopping Kid Buu doing a ton of stuff in one turn. Honestly, one of my favorite units, one of my favorite teams in the game, hands down, because he made Kid Buu. Because I remember when Kid Buu first came out, and he's still very difficult, obviously, because nothing's really changed on global. Everyone was like, okay, nah, Kid Buu's on some shit. He's serious. When I used it with this team, or when I beat Kid Buu with this team, it made it so much easier than what I was trying to do. Right, the team weren't the best build, but this team is that good, and Fat Buu is that good that he just... Whatever Kid Buu's got, he's gonna tank. He's gonna take. And no surprise when he looks like a piece of like 6 Hubba Bubbas all mushed into one. But even so, Fat Buu, honestly, he's the kryptonite to like every difficult enemy on global right now because he is that good. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As I said, this is probably going to primarily be the content we do until the 9th anniversary. Apart from any news or any like content we need to cover or go over. Pretty much just going to be units against Kid Buu and some other videos here and there. But I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great rest of your day. And post.